So diamond point, yeah, same stock material as the other level 3. Mark 3 inches from the back. Okay, so what we are looking for is turn this up like that on its edge. Okay, I'm looking to hit on an angle, so I'm like that. Yeah, so I'm lifting it up and I'm hitting on an angle as well. There, and I'm working all these 4 corners. Okay. The issue with this is that you've got to try and keep it straight as possible and not twist it and keep everything else flat. Okay, so as I'm going through it, you'll be able to see it a bit easier. But the most important thing is keeping that upright. Yeah, so it's like that. As soon as you start to turn it any which way, it will start twisting on you. Yeah, and make for a bad piece. So again, start is all important. I'm going to bring this up to a nice yellow heat. Again, the heat you see on this camera won't be the same that I got here, okay, that I'm seeing here. Just because I've not got a good enough camera to do that. Okay. Teamwork, on an angle, hammer on an angle, and just going to work these corners evenly, okay? This one is a lot about control and not just hammering it into submission. Okay, let's see if I can get that to focus in on that. You see what's happening at the tip there? Okay. You see how the edges are folding over. What that does is that creates a cold shut as you try to make it into a point, and it will split, crack, and snap off. Again, you don't want that. So, as you can see, hopefully, that yeah, I've now got 8 faces, not necessarily all going in the same way. So I got all these sloping faces here, yeah, and then I've got all the flat faces here which I need to control. So you can just about see that triangle there. I just get a okay, yeah. So I want to keep that right in the middle of my bar. Same all the way around. Okay? I want to keep that right in the middle. If I can do that, I know it's not going to twist. Okay? So first of all, I've got to sort out these fish lips. That's what we call them. Okay? All I'm going to do is get it hot again, knock it back. So it goes flat. And then start working it down again. Again, I'm paying attention when it's in the fire because it's getting smaller. Tip's going to heat up quicker than the main body of it. So I'm going to slightly offset it in the fire so it's to the side, so where the hottest bit of the fire isn't. That way it will heat up evenly, but still get up to a temperature where I can actually use it. I'm just going to sort out those fish lips. Knock it back so it goes flat. Clean work, up on the edge. You'll notice that I'm still working. So my dot, yeah, is there. I haven't even bothered coming back yet. Yeah. What a lot of people do is they start doing this and then they work it back to the dot before they've actually got the tip sorted. So I don't know whether you can see that or not. You can see that little crack there. Yeah. That's on the fish lips. Always happens. Yeah. There is a way of sorting it out, which I'll show you in a second. And that's all you do to get it started. Just keep on working just this bit here to get that bit down to that point that you want, and then you draw it back to your dot. It's very easy to go over the dot on this one. Okay. So I'm just going to sort these fish lips out. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to get it hot so it's a little bit sparkling, and then I'm just going to tap it back. And what that does is it actually fire welds it all together and takes all out all those cracks. When I bring this out, it's going to be a little bit sparkling. Not a lot sparkling, just a little bit. Okay. Yeah, I hope you saw that. Have to work quick, otherwise the heat would go. Get clean. As the tip gets smaller and smaller and smaller, what you're going to do is you're going to move your work over to the edge of your anvil so you can force your hammer over. Okay. This is what I've got now. Yeah. That's essentially a diamond point, but we want this to be stretched all the way back to our dot, which is here. Okay. But the main bulk of the work again is at the tip, because that's where you're changing it. You can imagine it's gone from 16 mil square down to probably 1.5 mil square. So that's a lot of material movement. So now, once I've got these faces flat, which I think they are, again, checking as you go, yeah, nice fat faces there. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to start drawing this back. So when I've got it on the anvil, I want to feel where that face is, and that way I can draw it back and it'll draw it back flat, yeah, and not twist on me. This is the bit where if you're slightly off this way or slightly off that way, it will start to twist on you. So you should see that. Yeah. That center there, that line, if you drew a line from that tip there down that corner, it's nicely in the middle. Okay, and that's what you're after. So now I'm just going to draw it back nice and slowly. Back to that dot. Okay, keeping those faces nice and flat. Keep checking them with a ruler. Yeah. With all these points, you don't want to work it too cold. If you work it too cold, the edges start forming over. Yeah, you start getting that dip in your work, and then it creates more work for you. The hotter you work it, the easier your piece will be. And you won't have to put that much work into it because it is hot. If you start working it too cold, then you've got to get all those defects that you've put in from working it too cold back out again. Okay, the bit that you're not seeing is my fire control where I'm putting it in the fire. So I'm putting it in so the point is past the center point. So the main heat of the fire is going into that main body of my work. That way that main body gets hot, yeah, and my tip doesn't burn. Everything clean, fine, that level, and all I'm going to do is tilt it back a little bit. Okay, can you see here it's starting to go off that way? So I need to control it back. So it's just very lightly, just working those flat sides down. Because as you're working it there, it's going to make these bits bulge out. So you just need to work them flat a little bit. Not a lot, just flat. Yeah. There you go. Okay. You see they're a bit more in line. You're allowed a little bit of play around that thickness at the end here, but not masses. Okay. And you can see I've gone to about there. My dot is just there. I'm about there. Yeah. What I need to make sure is that is still flat. So you can see I've got a bit of a ridge around this section here. So I'm going to work that section a little bit more than there and there. Now I'm going to get that nice and flat before I start moving it back a bit again. And these pieces aren't difficult hammering wise. Yeah, you're going to come to a few bit pieces where your hammer blows really need to be exact. These ones aren't too bad. It's more about control, your heat control, and then where you're hitting it in your work. Have an idea of what you're going to do. So I've noticed where it's bulging, where it's not flat. So I'm going to work that section down. I'm not just hitting it for the sake of hitting it and thinking it will go right. You have to force it into which way you want it to go. You have to have a plan. Yeah, before you put it in the fire, you have a look at it, check it out. Okay, once I take it out of the fire, that's what I'm going to do with it. Okay, so find that level again. All I'm going to do is just work. Area there. While I'm doing this, I'm always keeping an eye on these triangle pieces here to make sure they're in line. If they're not, I'm just going to scoot them over a little bit, just by taking the edge off. Yeah. going to check these edges out. Yeah, not too bad. Yeah, I'm going to sort that out at the end rather than doing it now. Okay, so that way my tip doesn't get too small. Yeah, and then start burning in the fire. So I'm going to get it close, and then I can finish it right at the last. Okay, because now drawing it back to this dot is not going to be much work at all. Because as soon as I get my hammer, that's where I want my hammer to finish. Yeah, where the end of my hammer here, my heel of my hammer here, is that's where the dot is. That's where my center mark is. Yeah, I don't want to take it past. So I've only got 4 mil either side of that dot. So if you finish early from that dot, that's fine. But with that, the angle you've got it on the anvil works that corner there. Okay, and it is more noticeable. You can get away with this a little bit more on these 3. Yeah, this one you can't. It's got to be exact. So that angle, you've got that on there. As soon as you start going back to your dot, you need to make sure that that angle is right. Because if that angle's wrong, that line will come past your dot, even though you've got to your dot on this side. Okay? You've got to make sure that angle is right. Just using the Bosch to cool the tip down a little bit. Getting too hot because it's getting thinner. I want the main body of my work hot first, and then that heat will spread down to that tip evenly. Okay? So I'm keeping a good eye on this. I'm not letting it get away from me. Okay. I'm gonna find my level there. And slowly bring that back to my dot. Again, slowly bring it back to the dot. Try and keep things straight, keep things clean. Okay, so what I can do now is I've gone back to my dot here. Yeah. What I'm going to do now is make sure that all these sides are nice and flat. Okay. And you'll know when you're just about finished because this here, so from the tip of this triangle here, the end of there should be the same distance as there. You can see it's not at the moment. I've got a bit of work to do down here, and I need to stretch this out. By the time I've done that, that should be equal. Yeah, I don't want to get this too high now. I just want a nice orange on it, a nice orange colour. Okay, so I don't want to move it too much. I just want to gently bring it back. Yeah, I want to just gently. It's just a case of getting everything in line. It'll take you a couple of heats to do. Yeah, orange color again. What you're looking for is nice flat edges down here. Okay. Another heat on that, another run down, and that will be fine. And we'll check it against the specs. Okay. So against what she looks for, or what I look for, and how you do it as well. Yeah, keep my work nice and clean. Hammer blows getting lighter as I get towards the tip. Okay. Okay, let's just get this straight and then we'll have a look at it. Straight off. So, there you have it. Okay, can you see now that that distance there is about the same distance there? Okay, that's right in the middle. Yeah. My hammer mark's finished there, which is slightly past my dot, which is fine. Yeah, they're not too far past. That one might have gone a little bit too far past, but that's what I was saying about it being. You have to get your angle right on the bottom because the angle actually works the other edge. Okay, it's getting that nice and flat. That should all be nice and that's right, nice and straight in there. Okay. Yeah, and again, this should all be, the point should be centered. So that there, spin it over. Is the point in the same place? Yeah, spin it over, point in the same place. Yeah, point in the same place. So that point, and you can see on my finger there, yeah, is always there. If it was higher or lower, I'd get a mark higher than that one. Yeah, that mark there. So those two marks, and then I'd have to adjust it. Okay, so obviously all your edges need to be flat. Okay, you see I got a bit of a bump in there. It depends what I've got the other side. I've got a bit of a hollow. I have, I can just knock that back into there. So you stick it over the there and just knock it over. Now that side's flat and that side's flat. Okay. Diamond point. Everybody okay with that?